20 minutes past 8 a.m. We continue with the show this morning, and we kick off this morning talking to Abubakr Thapelo Amad, who is the MMC for Development Planning in Johannesburg. Jamah-ah party issuing a statement tackling the Miss South Africa over her insistence to participate in apartheid Israel. Brother Abu Bakr, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. As always, welcome to the show.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Brother Inyat. How are you? And assalamu alaikum to the listeners at home.
Alhamdulillah, I'm doing very well now. Talking about Miss South Africa insisting that she will be participating in apartheid Israel. We've seen countries like Malaysia, we've seen countries like Indonesia pull their participants out. But this is unfortunate, and Jamah-ah has expressed extreme disappointment, Abu Bakr.
Yeah, awesome. So as a country, as South Africa, we have a rich history of a lived experience of what does apartheid mean, or what is it that apartheid stands for. So us is to also mobilize, conscientize the society, educate the society on our history as well, not doing away with our own history as a country, because there's a lot that we haven't achieved in this dispensation of democracy in our country. Over and above that, we remember South Africa at the time during apartheid. The entire world mobilized in solidarity to support us, so that the apartheid regime could cease the oppression, could cease the dehumanization of human beings which were living in that apartheid state. Should give us the freedom of movement, so that we are able to do away with the dumb passes. This is where we stand as a country. Former President Nelson Mandela, the famous quote, "We'll never be free until Palestine is free." So it is upon us to mobilize society, educate, and teach, because this issue of apartheid in Israel, or rather against the Palestinians, it's over and above the religious values. It's over and above the political ethos. So it is an issue of humanity above all those frameworks that we might want to limit it to.
Yes. Now, clearly, there is a lot of pressure on the organizers, particularly the organizers in South Africa, and not only Miss South Africa herself. And Jamah obviously is taking the lead, and also at the same time saying that supporting any organization or any protest with regards to the insistence of her participation in Israel.
100%. Any organization that will be in support of the solidarity of Palestine will therefore embark on any program that is out there. Will support them, will mobilize numbers, and will be visible, whatever that it takes for us to be out there to seize this apartheid state, which is perpetuated by the regime of the Israelites, or the Zionism.
Yes. Now, we've seen, so much in the past as well with regard to cultural boycotts that have taken place. And obviously, when one looks at an event like this, the Miss Universe competition, another event that obviously would ignore Israel's violation of human rights against the people of Palestine.
Could you kindly repeat?
I said cultural events like these, events like the Miss Universe pageant that is taking place in Israel, it basically serves to whitewash Israel's violation of human rights against the people of Palestine. So those that obviously would support this event obviously would be equally guilty of this crime that Israel is committing against the people of Palestine.
I agree with you. Remember, if there's an oppressor and there's an oppressed, the moment you want to take a neutral part, you have taken the side of the oppressor, because you didn't feel the oppression against the oppressed. So what we are saying is that when you go there as Miss South Africa, or whatever organization that you represent, you are there, one, recognizing the sovereign state. You recognize it as a sovereign state of apartheid. That's one. And then two, it means that you will be technically endorsing their programs against humanity, which is atrocity that has been done against the children of Palestine, particularly from a woman's point of view. Because if you are a woman, and in our country we also speak of gender-based violence, which is mainly aligned to the struggles of women in particular. So, as a woman and a human being, what does it say to you to see your female counterpart being dehumanized on a day-to-day basis? And you want to come here and say, no, you are advocating for gender-based violence in the country that you are living in, but it is not perceived as gender-based violence if it comes to other regions of the world.
Well, I'm quite glad you mentioned that, Abubakar, because gender-based violence in South Africa has been a major talking point. And this obviously would mean endorsing Israel's treatment of women and young girls. And we've seen it over and over again, to the point where women have given birth at checkpoints. We've seen women beaten up by soldiers, by male soldiers as well. And we've seen so many of them that have been killed as well. And the struggle of the Palestinian mother, the struggle of the Palestinian sister, we know what has been taking place in the last 70 years. So again, here is another strong case as to why South Africa, the organizations, and Miss South Africa in particular, should be boycotting this event.
100%. I concur with the sentiment that you've just shared.
Yes. Now, just obviously looking at, what options do we have apart from just reminding the organization, the Miss South Africa organization and Miss South Africa? Is there anything else more that can be done?
We must call for the parliament to seize the visa. Her visa must be taken away. There has to be that call, and the society has to mobilize against that, so that she doesn't find her way out, if need be. I think we need to, lack of a better word, I almost said detain, but it's wrong for us to do that. But if administrative issues such as the paperwork, if government or Home Affairs can intervene on that end, it will also be a direct demonstration of our government to say we are for the children of Palestine. And as a liberation movement that is also leading the country in terms of government, it will be their commitment and a demonstration to say we were liberating the people of South Africa, and we do not want any human being to go to under the similar experience, because we passed through this experience and we understand that the whole world was in solidarity for the South Africans to be free. So I think that the national government has to do something about it.
Yes, I think this is absolutely important, because we've seen so much talk coming through from our government in terms of their support for the people of Palestine, the support of the Palestinian cause for self-determination. And we find that sometimes there is very little action. There is more talk than action. And this is now an ideal opportunity to action what you have been saying. And this is a reminder that must go to the government, that you've been saying you support the people of Palestine, you care about the people of Palestine. And this obviously would go a long way should the government take the necessary steps, the necessary actions that you are proposing, Abubakar.
100%. I think that's the only option that we have. Our government has to demonstrate through action this time around. It shouldn't be an abstract, something that we read on paper and we are unable to demonstrate through action. So it would be very disappointing to see a government, our government in particular, not doing anything about this. So that will be left to the people, that will be left to the mass mobilization of our community. What is it that we do to also put pressure into this government, not only the Israelis, but our government also has to be held accountable.
Well, Abubakar, Jazakallah khairan so much for that. For your time with us this morning, we do appreciate you taking time out talking to us on this matter. We wish you all the best, inshallah. We wish you safety. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thanks for the opportunity, and thanks for the listeners to listen to us.
Jamah-ah's MMC for Development Planning in Johannesburg, Abubakr Thapelo Amad on the issue of South Africa participating in apartheid Israel at the Miss Universe pageant.